Thank you very much. Thank you.
I've been waiting and listening.
Thank you very much.
Okay, please say what inspired you with law and governance?
The quest for justice and truth is the motivating factor. And as one grows and one understands the history and the struggles of great pioneering Pan-Africanists and Africans, such as Marcus Garvey, W.B. Du Bois, Sajifo Kwame Nkrumah, Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere of Tanzania, and a host of other individuals who are clear that we needed to carry this agenda forward, and that the agenda of Pan-Africanism and liberation is an intergenerational struggle. So we are carrying the torch and the baton, which was held so very firmly and confidently by those founding fathers.
Could you share a pivotal moment or experience that shaped your career trajectory?
There are many moments, but I can say that as a university student, I was quite clear during the struggles that were taking place in the continent of Africa in 1980s that Africa needed to move in a totally different direction. When we saw dictators such as Mobutu Sese Seko in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Jean Bedel Bokassa using their position to the detriment of the continent, it revitalized and reignited the spirit of reclaiming the continent of Africa as was conceived by the founding fathers. That to me was a defining moment, that we needed to come out and to speak and to do that which is in the best interest of the continent of Africa.
I read some of your write-ups and listened to some of your speeches. You really love the late the president of Ghana, the first president of Ghana. What inspires that love for him?
He was a visionary. You only have to look at some of his very casual works to know how selfless he was, how dedicated he was, how he loved the continent of Africa, how he foresaw some of the things that we are dealing with. And anybody who loves Africa must, in the nature of things, love Kwame Nkrumah. And some of his iconic speeches, particularly the speech that he delivered in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia in the year 1963, on the occasion of the founding of the Organization of African Unity, and even much earlier in 1958 in Accra, Ghana, and even much earlier on the occasion of the independence of Ghana, when he said that the independence of Ghana meant nothing if the continent of Africa was not free. The Osagyefo was a visionary. The Osagyefo was selfless. The Osagyefo was passionate. The Osagyefo was a great individual.
Do we still have such leaders in Africa? Because you speak about monster leaders. I read some of your...
Correct. You're right.
Yes, monster leaders. Who are those monster leaders?
I will not name names, but they are individuals whom we know use positions of power for purposes of personal benefit and to the detriment of the society. And if you look at Africa today, there may be a few individuals who speak the language of Pan-Africanism, but without the passion and dedication of Nkrumah, without the passion and dedication of Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere, with the passion and dedication of Samora Machel or Amilcar Cabral. So one would say that in the political arena, we are very wanting in leaders in the league of the people that I've talked about, that pantheon of great African leaders. But we must remember that Pan-Africanism is not only a political agenda. There are people outside of the political arena who are Pan-Africanists and who are speaking the language and doing the things that are designed to bring about African unity and to ensure that Africans regain their pride of place in the arena of world politics, economics, and of course even in other newer areas such as technology.
So are the African youth interested in the Pan-Africanism?
I believe so. I traveled this continent and I'm beginning to see young Africans from South Africa to Central Africa to West Africa to East Africa to the North who are beginning to embrace the spirit of Pan-Africanism. And I have no doubt in my mind that they are the crop that is going to catapult the continent of Africa into the orbit of African unity. They are there. Their voices may not be heard at their most eloquent at this time, but the answer is there are such young men and women across the continent of Africa.
So what are some of the major challenges facing Pan-Africanism in Africa?
There are many challenges facing Pan-Africanism, and Nkrumah and Nyerere saw it. The love for political power and the privileges that they bring about, the corruption in the political arena, the egos of some of the individuals who stand in the way of Pan-Africanism, the influence of outsiders such as the Western countries who still want to ensure that the neo-colonial project is alive and well, the scramblers for the resources of Africa. All these are headwinds that stand in the way of Pan-Africanism, because they know that when the continent of Africa is organized and united, then that will torpedo their diabolical schemes.
So let's move into African solution for African problems. Do you see that happening soon?
No, it has always been happening. The Africans have always tried to resolve their problems at different levels. If you look at the Lagos Plan of Action of 1980, the design of the Lagos Plan of Action was to ensure that we enhance intra-African trade, because trade is the lifeblood of development. After that, you've seen quite a number of declarations which are specific. The Maputo Declaration on the Rights of Women, the Abuja Declaration on Health, the Yamoussoukro Declaration on Air Transportation, the Kigali Agreement on Free Movement of Borders, and much more revolutionary, the Africa Agenda 2063 and the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, which is headquartered here in Accra, Ghana. So Africans are moving in the right direction. What we ought to do is to remain committed to those promises that we have made to ourselves, and to realize that it is not easy to achieve these things. And as the Baganda says, that which ripens quickly rots quickly. So the idea is to move slowly, deliberately, in a manner that will ensure that all the things we do are firmly rooted in Africanness and firmly rooted in the dignity of the continent of Africa for this generation and generations yet to be born.
So, Prof, you've been a lecturer for years. How can Africa be liberated from ignorance? Can that be done through our educational reform?
Oh, without doubt. I think one of the things that we must do is to have a massive revolutionary curriculum reform. Because if you look at the kind of teaching that goes on in our schools or in our universities, it was designed to help the erstwhile colonizer. That is why my countryman Ngugi wa Thiong'o is right when he talks about decolonizing the mind and decolonizing the curriculum. I have no doubt in my mind that we need to revamp our curriculum so that it is able to create young men and women who are geared towards lifting Africa, whether it is in economics, whether it is in technology, whether it is in the arts and in the sciences, people who are attuned to the true north of Africanness, but yet are able to recognize that knowledge does not know geography.
Of growing up as a man, specific individuals or events that inspired you and shaped your life?
Of course, without doubt. There are always people in your immediate environment, my mother, my father, my uncle, and the people who are around me who influence you at the very early stage. As you grow older, of course, you begin to identify with individuals who do the right thing. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, with whose philosophy I identified very early, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., Kwame Nkrumah, Julius Kambarage Nyerere, whom I had the opportunity to serve under at a certain stage in my life. All those factors are factors that define one's life in a very useful way. And I continue to unlearn the things that I ought not to retain in my system, and continue to learn the thing that I ought to do. I am a student for life, because every life opportunity offers an opportunity for learning, and humility is indeed the mother's milk of true learning and true knowledge.
So, Prof, what is your vision for Africa?
This continent is going to be great. Our potential, and as Mwalimu Kambarage Nyerere famously said, our duty is to play our part, and to play it effectively with dedication and with passion. I'm under no illusion that things are going to be easy. And if it is not easy, it is not worth doing. So if it is easy, it is not worth doing. So I have no doubt in my mind that Africa will realize our potential in all spheres, but we must work at it. We must have our hands on deck, and with dedication, the continent is created. That any society that ignores our young men and women is a society headed to the rocks.
Lastly, can you tell us a bit about yourself, your family?
I am a Kenyan, I am a lawyer, I am married, I have 2 daughters, and I am a dedicated husband, a dedicated father, a dedicated grandfather. That is who I am. And that is what we need to do to serve your family. Remember that the family ecosystem is the one that stabilizes one for purposes of engagement with the rest of the world. Yes.
I'm super excited to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you.